Are we live? Yes, we're live. Hi, everyone. Good day. How are you all doing today? I just want to make sure that my voice is clear. Uh-oh. Brian, just give me a moment. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. Just give me a moment. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know, I know. If you've been following me, you probably be thinking, gosh, this girl, you still have to like test your microphones. You still, let me even tell you what's happening right now. I just kept my light. And I brought that today because I wanted to like do the video. Today's like 30th, and I thought, why do I have to wait till tomorrow? Let me just flow. And then I realized that my lights are no longer working. I'm like, gosh, it would have been nice to like always come 1 year like every day, but I know it's impossible for me. Okay, so basically a lot of things has been happening at Zago. And one of the things that I'd mentioned at the end of the 100 journeys in 100 days was that I was going to like keep coming back and just sharing updates like every once a month. And yeah, that's why I'm here today. I have my file here opened. He has the month in it, but I think I should start from business structure first before I then go to the field pilot. So last year I think I'd mentioned that I'm going to start hiring interns, and I realized that it's getting quality people is harder than what people say, right? Especially for a small brand, maybe for like a founder that's not constantly like showing up on LinkedIn like that, or has been showing up on social media, but has been showing up in other forms, like as a consultant, as a professional, and not necessarily as a founder, right? Because it just went public with Saboteurs sometime in July last year. And just so we're clear again, this session is not scripted. I don't like scripting things. Well, except I'm going for competitions or I want to pitch, but just coming on YouTube, I feel like yeah. So finding interns just randomly going online didn't work for me. One of the things that has worked is referrals. So I have like a couple of people that I spoke with, and there's some groups on Facebook that you think you found somebody and then they cancel on you last minute. No pressure. I understand life happened and all of that. Anywho, referral worked for me. So I had spoken to a friend who was like a tourism professional, and I was like, "Hey, I'm looking at your interns," and then she referred me to a couple of places. So I'm going to be mentioning those places, maybe not directly, but kind of institutions they represented. Tourism boards really worked for me because tourism boards happen to also have like job boards. Tourism association, but specifically for students, right? Because the owner is easier to reach and they typically just like have students in their network, right? And so those students are typically looking for mentorship. So it's easy for them to like recommend a student to you because if somebody's looking for mentorship, they will probably just be looking for an internship too. Or even if they are not, they'll probably know somebody looking for an internship. Another thing that has really helped is virtual internships. Then this study abroad kind of thing that happens in travel, right? I was able to connect with some organizers of those study abroad thing because one of the things that study abroad also does, study abroad is not a company, it's just something that happens in the industry, is they do student placement, right? So they have access to students who are looking to get placed. And that was one thing that worked for me. It didn't mean that I hired from all of those institutions that I've said, but I got responses. I interviewed students and then I just have them in my book for next time. Yeah, one of the things I did, I didn't think I was going to do, but I did it, and I've not even done it before, right? With interns, is like building organizational structure. I usually just like have a note somewhere, very tiny, but this time around, I organized a file. It had like a welcome note in it. It had videos of everything they need to get set up. It has like an onboarding guide in it. It has purpose of the guide, extremely layered. I think the list was around 5 pages. So it became almost impossible for anyone to like fail or not like do their role well. And this time around, I was also asking for accountability, right? So if you're supposed to log in 4 hours, 3 hours, or 6 hours, if you log in 27 hours and you've not completed your task for that week, I'm going to be like, hey, what's happening? Right. Another thing I am also not doing with this internship is that I'm not having people on board because it's convenient. I feel like I'm in a space in my life as a founder that I need to protect my clarity. And what that means is that I have to travel light. So when I say I travel light, I have to make sure that as much as I can, There's nothing bothering me. I'm not trying to carry the weight of somebody else on the team, right? And I'm doing that actively. If it means that I have to say, hey, we appreciate what you're doing, but we're a high growth startup. We're not in a place where we have to wait tons of months and for you to catch up and all of that. I just have conversations honestly, the hard ones, the difficult ones. I'm literally having them every day because most of our interns just resumed like a week or 2 weeks ago. So the first week is for like onboarding. I'm seeing how they're peaking, and I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing here. How can I help you? What do we do better? Things like that. Yeah, I also have like a time tracker, activity tracker, and just all of those things to keep everybody aligned. Basically, then we talk every day on Slack, and every week by Friday we meet to just have a chat. Yes, I was going to move Zago to an HQ with like a different name where Zagotos were part of like the business brand sometime last year, and I had applied. As a matter of fact, till December 31st, I was on the innovation team of a particular European company. Anyway, those applications didn't work out. It also happened at a time that I wasn't feeling too well, so I stopped for quite a while. I think about a week or so. So I mean, I think it was last week of the year or last 10 days of the year, I was ill. I couldn't sit on my butt. So, and then it was in between, I was getting those. I mean, there was even a first rejection, honestly. And then there was a second one. And then there was I'm like, gosh. But, looking back, the rejections were not about me. It wasn't about something that I had done or something I didn't do because when it happened, that's what I was thinking. I was so mad at myself. Well, not necessarily, but yeah, I think I was annoyed at myself, not mad. Mad would be outrageous because it's impossible for me to be mad at myself because I know the level of work that I do. And so if I'm to be mad at myself now, that means I'm an unfair person because I am doing the hard work. I can feel it in my body because there are days I'm tired. I can feel it in my soul because there are days, and I can feel it in my finances. Oh my gosh. Anywho, it's just the bureaucracy of the system, honestly. So sometimes they say, oh, just a prototype is okay, but you don't know that what they want is a working prototype. They want to see statistics, they want to be able to track metrics. But those are things that they don't tell you. You just go in with all of the excitement and then you apply. I wouldn't, okay, let me not say I won't forget, but there was a specific response that I got from the Ministry of Innovation in an European country, and they said, well, this idea has not generated income. And then I lost my cool. I'm like, I saw your website. You guys are like, just an idea is enough. And I'm telling you guys a video an MVP that's going live soon. And then I have this like website from the developer I had shared that messed up and then the file website to share and all of that. Anyway, we're gonna be trying again this year because it took a while for me to realize that it wasn't about me, honestly. Because I thought it was about me and I was wondering why things were not working. Because I'm already like, even at this point, I'm already giving a lot. I could go after a full time job, but I'm not. I'm doing a part time job. And you can't compare the finances. And then the finance that's coming in, I'm also like pouring it into Zagotours. So I mean, yeah, basically that's it on those applications that didn't work out. Another thing is that last year I didn't think about the fact that we're going to have new suppliers, but the way things are growing and how we're emerging as a brand, we have a new goal to like add more suppliers this year. So if you'd like to be a supplier, please reach out. I'm thinking we could have like 200 suppliers, new suppliers on board this year. And yes, we're finally moving to product testing. It's been a long. The last time I came on live was like December 10. So December 10 to today, I think that's like it's not up to 8 weeks, maybe like 6, 7 weeks there. Or, nah, 7 weeks or 8 weeks. It's been a long 8 weeks, honestly, because in between, I mean, after my before I actually finished 100 journeys in 100 days, I hired a UI UX person. We started the UI UX person. I was the same person supervising the project. I was the same person coming up with ideas and all of that, and I'm happy. And then I hired like a designer too before the end of last year. I said designer, a developer, and so it's amazing. We're done with the front end, back end, we're testing. Amazing. I sometimes I feel a bit bad because it's not me. Like we were already interested. People, people I reached out in October, and I was like, hey, I'm going to come back to you with your login details. And October till now, I've not gotten back to them. I do not know how not to be how to. I don't know how to be inactive, honestly. Like I know how to be active. All right, like right now, where I'm not really working on Zago like that, where I'm just strategizing. I'm seeing myself somehow going into the binge watching loop. And so honestly, I cannot wait for me to like for Zago to like, be up again and I get into like my extremely productive zone. I know someone else will be like, oh, but you're supposed to just take time off, rest and all of that. I do not have the gift to sleep during the day too. I just sleep at night and then sometimes I can be both a night person and a day person. So yeah, now to the field pilot. Sometime last year I'd mentioned how that we're looking into just not knowing that people need our product, but they're now testing the subscription side of things to help us like get to market on time. And I was looking at grants anyways because I wanted to like consider grants. And I did even speak to like I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but there's a fund in the tourism industry that I spoke to, and they were like, "Oh, we love your idea, but I want you guys to sell first, and then you can come back to us." And then I looked at our field pilot. I think the least that we'll be needing is like $10,000 if I have to move through those three countries in 2 months. And I began to think to myself, how do I get this done? So I was thinking grants actually at first, and when I began to make my research, I realized that there's certain grants that I could easily pursue, but I am not like in Europe. And then I had met somebody too who had gotten a grant of, I mean, so far they've secured like $385,000, not euros in grant. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to partner with this person and all of that. And we had a conversation sometime in December, and then they had come back to me to say, hey, this month, they say, hey, I love what you're building, but I just want grant to myself. We're pretty much busy. They're building a co-living space actually. So as of last year, I knew they bought one building. Now they bought two more buildings, and they're like they're not going to be able to, help me pursue a grant. Actually, it was a bit heartbreaking, but I had to move on. And the way I used to look at grants in the past was like quite different. I used to look at grants as let me just get like 50K, we do something, or 25K or 100,000K. And I realized that I was looking at grants with so much ambiguity, right? I was supposed to look at grants from the level of, hey, I've not made any money now. But if I can get 500, maybe like 6 times this month from like 6 different donors, it's enough to do something in the business. Do you know? I mean, does that make any sense? I was always looking at grant as a large sum instead of me to look at it as something that I need to keep my business alive. I was looking at grant as a long way instead of survival, because work really early, we've not made any sales. So it's very ambitious to look at grant as something that gives you runway at this point. I was just supposed to look at it as something that helps us survive. Anywho, so I have decided right now because again, the field pilot is supposed to get us to now create policies around adventure safety, but specifically in Asia because we're starting with Asia and maybe just maybe later in life that could inform other policies. I realized that to even create the policy I have to work with, I can't go to UN by myself, UNWTO myself to submit it. I have to work with UN affiliate bodies. And then I thought to myself that okay, if I'm going to work with UN affiliate bodies, why don't I just like involve them in the process? Tell them to fund the research and I'll do the whole work with some other professionals, and then it comes through them. Like it's a win for them, anyways. If they propose a policy, and that doesn't mean that they're going to take my name off the research. It's just going to be something that we cool ways to that. I was thinking we could get money. Maybe like going to people who own travel businesses, but legacy travel businesses, honestly, who want to look good, but they also want to like support a good cause, right? And when I had that idea, I thought to myself that what would be the next way forward? I started looking for schools. I just actually started looking for schools this year, but I'm done now. Schools, when I say schools, I mean that people that tourism schools who have lecturers and that we can then partner with to co-create this And then it was hard to find those lecturers' account, honestly. I had to go through HRs because some of them were not on LinkedIn. As a matter of fact, some institutions were not even on LinkedIn. So I had to go through HRs because there were HRs that were posting that, oh, they need lecturer for that university and all of that, or college. And then I also had to go to like student researchers, student who credit their work to the lecturers. I saw things like that on LinkedIn actually. And then adjacent collaborators. So for example, maybe like the University of Swiss is saying something about a tourism college in one of the countries I'm considering going to. Yes, like I said, grants not the easiest path. And the way forward, you and affiliate bodies. I don't like to have one way forward. I like to have two ways forward, plan A and B. So the first is you and affiliate bodies, obviously. And then the next is travel companies. But I feel like 10K is not even a lot of money. It's just that we're cash strapped as a business. So I mean, one you and affiliate body should be able to do that. Yeah. That's what I think. Anywho, I also registered for a grant class because now I see grant differently. For me at this stage, grants are not runway, grants are survival. My grant class is starting on February 2nd. Yeah. And then I feel more relaxed right now because I know even if I say $500 check, 1,000, 2,005, I can go for it. Like, imagine I know so well that maybe I send out like 10 grant requests every month, and each one is like for 2005, some 8,000, and maybe five come back to me. Maybe I win five. I mean, that's a thing, yeah. You should have like maybe 5K. Yeah. So if you're building a startup, a tech enabled startup, let me know some of the challenges that you're going through. This is us. I don't think I have a word. I mean, okay, maybe how I would sum up my January, honestly, is uh, we're just forging, honestly. We're literally just forging. And not everybody speaks from an inflection point, and it looks like I'm speaking from an inflection point today. But honestly, we're forging. When I saw the last email, because I'd seen like two rejections in December, and but there was this particular one I thought was going to work. December 31st, I was meeting the Ministry of Innovation in that country. Like I was good. Like my meeting was recorded. Listening to your recording after, like I practiced, I wrote on pen, I wrote on paper, and when I saw their reasons, I was so pissed. I was not just pissed, I was annoyed, and but it's good. The thing about social media is that what we see, no matter how honest it is still creation, right? Like content creation of creation. There is a whole lot of uh it's not underlay or underlining, but there's so many things that are unspoken, right? So reality is not polished actually. It's as messy as it can get. Because I remember I cried. Was it that day or in the evening actually? I allowed myself to take it all in first, and in the evening I cried. And I was asking myself, what the hell is happening? And it took me 3 weeks or 2 weeks to begin to merge incidences, to begin to put things together. And I realized that, oosh, I was just heavy. There's nothing wrong with me, right? And so if you're a founder, you're pre-seed, you're pre-revenue, you're early, it's not a crime to be early. I mean, these seasons like this, what I would say, seasons like this, honestly, determine how far you go. So as much as you can, make the best of it. You're forging, honestly. You're becoming. It's not just a business that's becoming through you, but as an individual, you're also becoming. And that's the beautiful part of life, right? At the end of the day, you have to keep becoming. And so if this is one of the things that you have to hold on to as you're becoming, hold on to it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to like get weary. Like I don't know right now. If somebody says, "Hey, Esther, I'm bleeding, I'm tired," I think the first thing I'm gonna tell them is it's okay to be tired. Go to bed tonight, and just maybe tomorrow you find the courage to continue. So yes, let's just keep at it. You will know, when we hit a major breakthrough. Thank you all. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Bye.